Since 1979, Iran has faced continuous Western sanctions. According to critics of this policy, sanctions have evolved from a diplomatic tool into a permanent instrument of economic pressure. The argument is that the dispute over Iran's nuclear program became the framework through which escalating sanctions were imposed, not only on Iran itself, but also on companies and countries doing business with it. These so-called secondary sanctions forced major European firms, including Peugeot, Renault, Fiat, Total, and Airbus, to abandon billions of dollars in contracts and investments. Supporters of this view argue that the policy extends far beyond Iran. Because of the central role of the US dollar, international banking networks, and global financial institutions, Washington can impose penalties on foreign governments, companies, and banks that fail to comply with American restrictions. Critics describe these measures as a form of economic warfare rather than traditional sanctions. They point to decades of escalating restrictions, including oil embargoes, banking limitations, trade barriers, and financial asset freezes. The most controversial aspect concerns the humanitarian consequences. Opponents argue that sanctions do not simply affect governments. They affect entire populations. Restrictions on banking, trade, transportation, insurance, and spare parts can ripple through the economy, impacting access to medicine, food security, industrial production, and social services. For these critics, the central question is no longer whether sanctions punish governments. It is whether prolonged economic pressure can be justified when its effects are felt most heavily by ordinary civilians. The Iranian case, they argue, illustrates a broader transformation in international relations. The growing use of financial power and economic coercion as instruments of geopolitical competition in the 21st century.